Hey, I'll give Cooper Webb credit. He had a party the day before and had guys over there playing cornhole with him and hanging out.
Good for
That's
him.
what it takes. Just
Yes.
be yourself, but just stop with this robot stuff.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
speaking of robot stuff, Adam Cianciarulo, he had a procedure done on his forearm or wrist. He's got a nerve issue. And this is a nerve issue that's been acting up for a while now. I thought it was arm pump surgery. It wasn't. It was a nerve block, is what they gave him. So I don't know. It clearly didn't work, or time off didn't help. But it's not going good for AC. My title pick is out, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows I just have an affinity towards AC. I I just don't. I mean, the torch has been passed. I mean, maybe next year. I don't think that he's somebody that's going to go back to 10th and 11th. I think him being in the top five is very realistic. Top three is even realistic, but I don't know. I mean, that little opening lap left hander push the front end. I mean, what are the chances that the fender would go all the way back the way it did? I mean, it's like if AC had no bad luck right now, he'd have none at all. We all know he's not a talent issue. We all know it's not a speed issue. We all know it's not a bike issue. We all know you can make your laundry list. Maybe next year, maybe the second half of the year, because I hate to say it this way, the pressure is going to be off his shoulders. There's zero pressure. Tomac's leaving. We know Anderson's coming over. Does he see Anderson as being a threat? I would say no. Does that give him another environment? Do we write him off? No. But do we see AC making those go for broke moves? I don't think so. Not going forward. I don't.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Coach. I'm ready to hit the panic button. When you have a nerve issue, that's a different type of an issue. This goes into that Osborne category. It, I would be devastated if this was what was the end of him. And I pray it's not, and I pray they figured it out. But this is something that's been a couple years now. This isn't just this year. He's complained about this in years past. So what's going on? We got to get this fixed, because clearly he can't go any further with this. I don't know. Being a medical type guy, do you have any extra insight on that one?
The biggest challenge that you run into is right now we're in what, a 4 race series every weekend for 4 weeks. I think we are, now that we've gotten back.
Yep.
That's the hardest thing. That's what I love. And I've said this on the show before. That's what I love about GNCC. You race on a Sunday, you can essentially take till Wednesday to recoup. You train Wednesday to Wednesday, do a 3-day taper, peak on Sunday. You can do that for a whole, race series and not get smoked. These guys with back-to-back race weekends, it's tough. If you look at those nerve blockers, they got to go into the spine. They've got to go in and nail that point. I've seen them last as much as 5 months. I've seen them and heard that they last less than a month. Well, if you look at a 4 race series and you got the blocker put in and it doesn't seem like it did very well, yeah, I would have to agree. Can he get it under control? I don't know. I mean, if I was his trainer and I could make an executive decision, and I know some of the listeners are going to think I'm an idiot, your long-term health is not worth it. Pull out, you know what I mean? Get healthy. This goes back to something you and I've talked about off the record. I, for the life of me, don't understand why every factory team doesn't have a third rider that's healthy, training on the same equipment. We've talked about it. You bring in a Brock Tickle, you bring in a test rider that's back behind the scenes, stays healthy, is young, is aggressive, knows the equipment inside and out. At least you have representation. You don't lose your big sponsors. But that we could do a whole show on just that. That's my biased opinion, but I don't know, man. When you get into nerve blockers, that nobody's playing games with those, because that's in a very, I want to say it's a very invasive, but anytime you get involved with the spine, people realize that. I mean, could really mess some people up pretty bad with those.
Yeah, it's scary.